Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news, OJ Simpson, disgraced former NFL football player, has officially passed away at the age of 76 years old. I'm floored, you guys, to be honest with you guys. I really do not have the words for this story because OJ had been so out of mind for me for a really long time now. So I wasn't expecting to hear any news from him, especially much less him passing away. In fact, I wasn't even aware that OJ Simpson had been diagnosed with cancer. Thank you guys so much for joining me on such short notice. I'm seeing your comments here. And you know what, Chain, I do want to say you're right. It's just such an automatic thing to write RIP when you hear about somebody passing away. So that was my automatic thing there. But I do have a question for you guys. What do you say when a bad person passes away? Just goodbye? Or what is the appropriate thing to put there? Because I definitely will be changing that. I definitely do not want to offend people with that. So Katie saying maybe you can interpret it as rest in pieces. I don't know. I don't want to, it's just such an ugly topic, to be honest with you guys. So let's get into OJ Simpson, right? OJ Simpson was a very beloved at the time football icon. He was a Heisman Award winner from the University of South Carolina. Then he went on to become a huge legend in the NFL, playing with the Buffalo Bills. But then that all came crashing down when he was accused of double homicide. So this was on his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman in the 90s. He ultimately was acquitted on these charges, which was a huge nationwide upset for people. And so he's never been able to clear his name ever since that happened. OJ would just consistently find himself in all sorts of trouble, right? Even in 2007, what happened to him? He wound up being charged and arrested. He actually got sentenced for armed robbery and kidnapping, and he wound up serving a couple of years in prison for that as well. And now we find out that he has officially passed away. So how do we know for sure that OJ Simpson has passed away, you guys? Well, his family made the announcement on his behalf on his official Twitter page. Let's take a look at what it is that they had to say. They said, and I quote, "On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace, the Simpson family." To be honest with you guys, I always find it really fascinating when people make certain announcements. Like, nobody was really checking for any of this stuff. Like, you guys could have had your privacy, you're this or that. You didn't have to say anything. You guys could have just lived this out. You know what I mean? But now they put it out there. So of course there's going to be all of this interest all of a sudden. And that's going to be like the complete opposite of what it is that they're looking for, right? Essentially. So let me get into some of your comments. I've got a video, the last video that we saw of OJ before he passed away. But before I show it, I want to see what some of you guys are saying. So yet again, thank you all so much for joining me on such short notice. This is breaking news. So that's why, I couldn't give you guys any more notice. So Isa says, "I am hoping if he did the murder, there is a confession letter. I saw the pictures of the red rum at the Death Museum in New Orleans, and it was insane." You know what? That's an interesting thing to say, Isa. Thank you so much for this comment, because this has nothing to do with like slaying people or anything like that. But do you remember the Brazilian soccer player? What's his name? He's like Pepe, I think his name. He fathered children that he, outside of his marriage, that he would not claim publicly, right? And he wouldn't even claim them privately either. So these children grew up with this trauma. And then when he passed away, what happened? He, in his will, he finally acknowledged, after denying being the father of his daughter, he finally acknowledged that he was her father and left her a certain amount of money. So, not to equate apples with oranges, but it is interesting, the secrets that some people will keep for life and then expose at the end of their lives, like in their wills or in their, secret hidden stuff. So that is a very interesting thing I didn't even think about. So thank you so much for that comment. Look at all the racists. Rest in peace, Orenthal J. Simpson. You say hopefully he goes wherever he deserves. Bless his heart. He died. Yeah, this is breaking news, Chizzy. Chloe K lost her other dad. Sad, but I'm thinking of Nicole Brown and her friend and their families too. I'm thinking of that too. That's what my mind ran to. Like, oh my God, how are they handling this news? They must, maybe feel like relieved on some level, although at the same time, OJ got to live a very full life. He was 76 years old when he passed away. Meanwhile, Nicole had passed away like at a very, very young age. She didn't get to see her kids grow up, but OJ got to watch them grow up and everything like that. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, it still is rather sad for them despite all of this. So you guys, let's take a look at the last video that OJ posted before he passed away. So this video was actually filmed in February. It was in honor of the football not of the football field, but of the Super Bowl. So OJ, of course, being some football legend, right, is still a lifelong football fan, or was a lifelong football fan. So he made a video to speak about the Super Bowl party that he was hosting and whatnot. So he was living in Vegas when he passed, by the way. Let's take a look.
Hey, X-Well, it's me, yours truly. Boy, what a beautiful day it is here in Las Vegas. Even though the game is indoors, it wouldn't have mattered, but still, it's nice to have a beautiful day like this. Hey, let me take a moment to say thank you to all the people who reached out to me. My health is good. I mean, obviously, I'm dealing with some issues, but hey, I think I'm just about over it, and I'll be back on that golf course, hopefully in a couple of weeks. But it was very nice hearing from you and hearing those good, positive.
So there you go. At the time in February, he said that his health was good. Remember, this is only 2 months ago. We're just in April now. He said his health was good. He felt like he had actually defeated the cancer and that he was hoping that he would be able to go golfing or just go out there and do something, But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Let's keep watching to see the rest of what it is that he had said in his final video.
The words, thank you. Now, as far as the game goes, obviously, my prediction is not hope. I'm basing it on who's on the field. I see a 24-20 win by the 49ers. And as I said,
so there you go. It's just sports talk, which I'm sure we are not all that interested in hearing about. But I am going to drop a call-in link in case, because it seems like a lot of you guys have some very strong opinions about OJ. So if any of you guys want to hop on by voice, by video, whatever it might be, definitely feel free to click that StreamYard link and I'll pull you up here to talk a little bit about OJ. So I'm just, you know how I feel, you guys, to be honest with you. I just feel so just disgusted. To be honest with you, it's really, really sad when people who are so talented and who have such bright futures just destroy their legacies by being such evil people in their private lives. You know what I mean? And especially right now, watching the things go down with, for example, P. Diddy. This is going to be like P. Diddy too. Like when he passes away, we're not going to talk about his music, his business. We're going to talk about all of the lawsuits that are coming to light right now about him and all of like the evil things that he was supposedly doing to people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like it's just so disturbing that people can have it all, the lights, the camera, the money, everything, and then still choose to do such disgusting, depraved things, at the end of the day. Mally says, let's remember Ron Goldsmith too. He is too often overlooked. Think of him and his family as well. I completely agree. Thank you so much for reminding us of that, Molly. So it seems like everybody is just floored by this news. Yeah, it really, really does seem like this. And one thing about OJ is that even though he was acquitted of the double homicide and everything like that, it seems as though nobody feels as though that should have been the case. I'm looking, this has been like a running kind of like punchline and stuff like that in like popular culture for decades now. And even in this chat, all of you guys are saying he is so evil. He needs to basically no one's saying go to hell, but it feels like that's what you guys mean, which you're well within reason to say that. So it's just, honestly, it's just such a disgrace what it is that he had done. And I want to call back to Iz's comment a little bit earlier when she said that, when she said that, maybe there's some hope that he had left a confession letter and that was something that could potentially come to light. Although I wish that were the case, and I hope that that's the case, I feel like he is a little bit too narcissistic to go ahead and do that. But didn't he also write a book called If I Did Do It, Here's How I Would Do It? Like, he just was so cold-blooded about this entire thing and so callous about it all that I'm not sure that he would give her family or Nicole Brown's family or Ron Goldman's family the peace of mind of getting a confession. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I feel like he's too narcissistic. Even for his kids, that's something that would be wonderful for his kids, to give them closure, but I don't think that he would be capable of that. So Serena just popped in. Thank you so much for joining us, Serena. So this is how OJ Simpson passed away. He had cancer, and his family is now announcing, let me pull down the comments so we can see the full tweet for anybody else who's just joining us, that just yesterday, April 10th, Wednesday, OJ succumbed to his battle with cancer. It was prostate cancer, by the way, you guys. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. So another thing that makes me kind of sad here is the line where it says he was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. So again, OJ disgraced his legacy by allegedly offing his ex-wife, right? So how hard must it be for her family to see that he was surrounded by his kids, his grandkids? Like, Nicole never got to watch these kids grow up, right? And she never got to meet her grandkids or anything like that, subsequently as well. So the fact that this man who allegedly contributed to all of that got to go out that way, surrounded by family, surrounded by peace, surrounded by love, after living a full life at 76 years old, that's got to be painful. It really must be painful. And same thing, right? For Ron Goldman, same thing for him. He didn't get to live his full life either. He didn't get to pass away surrounded by family, surrounded by loved ones or anything like that. It really makes me really sad. You guys, it was prostate cancer, by the way, that OJ Simpson had been battling. Again, normally when I'm signing out a video like this, I would say rest in peace, but now I don't know what to say, goodbye. I don't know. Listen, I don't know, but thank you guys again so much for joining me on this this impromptu stream to talk about the breaking news. Again, OJ really trolled Nicole's family. She really trolled Ron Goldman's family and everything like that. And it really, really was sad to see. And I have no more words, you guys. That's it. That's the end. The chapter's closed on OJ Simpson at 76 years old. He was surrounded by his children. I'm quite surprised that his children remained close to him after all of this, Very interesting. Anyway, yet again, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next videos. Take good care of yourselves, and it's almost the weekend. Enjoy your weekend, you guys. Take care.